Hi everyone, and welcome to this edition of Digital Tutors Archicad training. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about model views. And there are a lot of options within the model view setup. So if you go to Document and then go to Set Model Views, you can open that and go to Set Model Views. So the screen is a little bit small. So let's see if we can do this. So we have within the Archicad template some really good starting points. So you have the site and contacts, you have an RCP, presentation, drafting, fill, detailing, and construction documents. And I would suggest going through kind of like a macro level of your deliverables and understand what you're actually producing, what view you're using to produce that in, and then what information that you want to have represented in that information. Because within the model view options, there's a lot of control for both the parametric objects, the way that the elements actually will represent themselves. So you have a broad range of how you can represent your information through the model view options alone. So let's just go through this. So within construction documents, you can see beams are going to be the entire beam. You're going to have a centerpiece. You're going to have the edges, and they have different dashes to represent the different conditions. Columns are going to have an X through them, or whatever symbol that you've associated with them. If you don't, it's just going to be a column. If you want to just have the reference line or a contour line or something like that for the beam, that's all it's going to be. Curtain walls, you could have schematic kind of representation, or you can have the full representation, which has the glazing, shading or coloring, or tint, or you can just have some kind of gray box that says this is kind of what we're thinking about, but we don't know exactly what everything's going to be, so take it from there. And then door options, which you have a lot. You can say, I don't want the marker to show up. That could be for something like site plan. You could say, I just want to show the opening, and that could be something like a RCP. Or I want to hide it all together, and that might be representative of something like a site plan or something of that nature, where you're controlling what information that you see through the intelligence within the objects themselves. Again, Windows have pretty much the same kind of option set, as well as skylights. So let's look at the override fill display. And this is also very interesting because you can start to quickly change what you see within your drawings without having to adjust each element or drawing specifically. And this is the beauty of the parametric kind of technology itself, is that one change here is going to affect multiple different locations in a easily repeatable method. So you're going to be able to change like whatever documents are associated with this model view option within just this model view palette. So that's really convenient because it allows you to make adjustments to large sets or any size of set without having to go through and change each of the documents themselves. So let's just look at this a little bit more detail. So you have overriding fills. You could say I don't want any fills. I want it to be a solid fill, and you can define what that solid fill is, or it could be no fill, or it could be the fill that's associated with it. And again, you have different types of settings for your zone categories or your zone fills, and you can adjust these pretty significantly And a newer option with some of the objects, you can adjust the level of detail so that it fits kind of your standards. And I've seen some, really large firms who rely very little on the plans to give all of the information about what a door design might be. And that solution that they were trying to achieve by simplifying the representation of the information on the plan so that it's a little bit more clear and just shows you, hey, there's a door here. Look at the schedule, figure out what it's about. You can easily do that with these settings here. So you can make it look really detailed. You can make it look, somewhat detailed or very simple. And same with skylights. And then another interesting aspect of this is that you can also go through and add minimal space to furnishings and doors. So if you have a toilet that requires a certain distance in front of it or behind it or next to it or whatever, you can set that in the object itself, but you can come back and have that information represented on the plan using the model view options. And then for doors, you can have the opening line show up. So this means which, this is the actual swing of the door. And these are the swings, so you can have them straight or curved. Typically, people use curved. But within this, you can show the opening lines in 3D projections, but also you can show this information in elevation. So if you want to show a door, so let's just look at this real quick. So I just turned it on. I'm going to make them dotted, and I'll make these dashed. So let's just take this wall, and then let's actually make a couple walls here really quickly. And then, so my model view options are right here. So I've just set that to construction. Let's just look through the different ones here. Let's just delete that wall. So let me just change these walls so that they're different. So I've changed this. So here's the construction document view. So it's giving you a little bit more detail, a little bit more graphic representation of information. And then if I go to drafting, so this might be the point at which you would start a detail. So you go in here and you start to adjust things or add information. You might start there. So you have drafting with fill. So again, this might be a place you start, and it reduces kind of the fill information in there. No, actually it doesn't reduce the fill information. It's just reducing the amount. It's actually adding back that fill information. So then if we go to presentation solid, which some people use for site planning or like a schematic design presentation to a client, everything is just simple, dark, and easily distinguishable as walls and things like that. Reflected ceiling, you don't really care about the detail on the walls, you care more about what's in the ceiling itself. And here you can see that even though the composite's made of a bunch of complex building materials or fills and whatnot, that information has been reduced so that you're only focusing on what you need to. And then again, here's the site in context. So you have a site plan. Basically, you just want to see the walls, kind of get an overarching idea of what's going on. So, and let's just show the doors real quick. So we have the door. Let's just put a window. And let's see. So I have this elevation already built. And looks like I got a bunch of stuff going on here. Let's just delete everything that's not important. Okay. So here we're looking at, a door and a window. So let's just go to the set model views. So on the set model view, here we go. Drafting no fill has everything turned on. Presentation does too. So let's look at presentation solid. So on presentation solid, you can see it automatically is putting the opening direction of all these elements. So let's just look at one other thing. So I already know that presentation solid has the openings, but you know what? I would rather have the lines be dashed, and why not? Let's orient towards the handles. So there, it just changed that. And this would be typical for anything within a project within this model view set. So again, this is definitely critical to easily, leveraging the parametric technology, but then also creating drawings that represent the information in a way that you want to see it. And the best way to do this is lay out your walls, lay out your site plan, or whatever the different plans are going to be associated with these different model views, and then make sure that they look the way that you intend them to look, and then just save them out by, like I've already adjusted this one. I can just say store as, and I could say DT for model view. And then it just saves that there. Okay, so that's about it for model view options, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.